we think like no one can do anything like new anymore. You put out a new album like Cave, Rave. How do you compose it? Because it's like it feels like you're traveling around the world picking up new sounds.
That's what we're doing, yeah, definitely. We enjoy, many types of music, and music's of the world. It's so hidden these days by this kind of plastic culture we seem to worship, and the true, original human instinct of music has kind of been buried. And even though it exists everywhere in the world, here in Portugal, in Europe and Africa, Asia, all these beautiful things. So yeah, wherever we go, we acquire little bits and try and sneak it in the music, yeah, for sure.
Have you heard of a festival here in Portugal in a place called Sines? It's a little bit down to the south, but in the coast. It's called
Surfing Reserve, right? It's like,
yeah, okay. Yeah, there's surfing all over the country.
There's a part of the coast that's made like for surfing. It's like the
Costa Vicentina.
Yeah, is it not there?
Yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah, it's there.
Is that where the festival is?
Yeah.
I've heard of the Sinj, the World Music Festival.
Yeah, it's happening now. It's pretty cool. You should go.
Yeah.
It's totally.
I don't know. I'm sure they've looked at us and been like, are these guys qualified to do? Are they really wild enough?
I don't know. Probably they don't have too much money to organize it, but it's really.
We cost a lot.
The second album, we have a little bit more emphasis on the lyrics, and the whole structure of the songs also feels like there's more room to it too. Was that like a conscious decision while you were composing, or just happened to be that way?
I think you just kind of grow with as a musician, learning how to put together a song that isn't really confusing. The first album is quite, you listen to it, you're like, where is the song happening, or and then it finishes, and I think there's a part of the charm of that first record is the kind of naive nature of it, and so I suppose we're a little less naive with Cave Rave.
Yeah, because it feels like you really have like all the parts of the song now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sad how formulaic it can be.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. In a way, I never want to write an album like that ever again, to be honest. It was good for us to do, but then now it's like, I feel like it was pretty like binding. There are a lot of boundaries.
Yeah. What's that phrase? It's like learn the rules just so you can forget the rules. Yeah. And so I feel like we were learning the rules during writing that record, so the rules are very kind of visible, whereas hopefully now the rules will be kind of...
That's actually what we expect.
No rules. Fuck the rules.
Yeah.
No rules.
How do you manage like to mix all this traditional instrumentation with this dubby electronics, and at the same time not managing to produce a disaster?
That's kind of you to say. It's just experimentation, trial and error, and also just noticing parallels between different types of music. You're like, hey, this folk music song like kind of sounds like it could have like a half-time dubstep thing on it, and then usually it works. If it does, it's all the same anyway. It's music at the end of the day. So as long as it's in tune, usually the rhythms work together some way.
How do you pick your instruments? Because you're always bringing something new to the picture. And how do you learn how to play all those things?
Yeah, I suppose stringed instruments often, they're tuned similarly, or if they're not tuned right, you can tune them to a way that and things like that. But yeah, it's, we don't have much else to do. We're musicians. It's like learning new instruments. It's exciting. Yeah.
Going back a little, how do you recall the days when Stockley's grandfather's inspiration just got you into this?
The heady days of Laura. It was. Those were, very fun days, very dark days, very exciting days. We just met. Me and Gilbert knew each other for a long time. Just met Graham, so obviously there was love at first sight happening, and all sorts of crazy business. So yeah, I look back on it very fondly. But it was
crazy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
And the music sounds like that, so...
Yeah, and it was almost like, kind of like esoteric at some point. That's how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like it was it?
Yeah, I think, It was
out of this world.
Yeah. Not often, like, I suppose, you get to work with an American such as Graham and two English guys and throw it into sort of a brick lane melting pot of Spanish, Basque, music, and we all studied languages before and stuff, so it's kind of like it was a sort of world experiment, by a gringo and two poms, as the Australians would say.
You obviously have a very strong link to the Basque culture. What do you highlight from it, from people who don't know the Basque culture?
Well, I think the first thing you usually hear about Basque culture is oh, they used to be terrorists, or so there's that kind of elephant in the room when you talk about the Basque Country. But there's so much more history and beauty to it, and they occupy this very amazing spot of land, in the mountains just beyond the Pyrenees and on the coast. So they got amazing surf, cooler weather. You think, oh, Spain's great because it's hot, but imagine living there, thousands of years ago. You'd be like,
culture that's thousands of years old, and so it's like the sense of community is unlike most places. The food is, they've been using these ingredients for 5,000 years. It's like
hongos, the boletos.
What's your favorite town there?
In the Basque Country. Well, San Sebastian's amazing. It's got that amazing old part.
You have some African influences on this last one, I think. But I kind of picked it up a little bit of like Ali Farka Touré. Is it anything close to that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I was in Ghana a few years ago, and that was pretty influential. Just listening to guitar tones there, like really, really basic guitars. Yeah, just like really amazing tones of this, like the tinniness, and I don't know. We grow up on like these really crazy technical guitars. Even bad guitars are really good, like guitars. Fenders, Squires are actually like amazing. Yeah, so you have like cans and strings, like 2 strings on a can, and like
make something brilliant.
And then when you play it, and if you can play it and make it sound good, it's like the amount of soul that goes into that, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So it's like that was really inspirational.
You always put on a party on your shows. It's a crazy thing. It's really cool. Can we just hope to burst with euphoria this time too?
We hope so. It's a great venue, great day. There's lots of people coming down, great lineup. So we will definitely bring some fire for the people this evening.